cool October evening here in Milwaukee, so we are inside with the roof closed as the Cubs and the Brewers will open up a 3-game series to wrap up the regular season here on Comcast Sportsnet. And with 3 to go, the Cubs still could catch the Pirates and host the wild card game next Tuesday. The Cubs down 2 games to the Pirates. Great to have you with us. Alongside Jim DeShays, I'm Len Casper. The Cubs actually have the longest winning streak currently in baseball at 5 games and counting, and they're going to root for the Reds in Pittsburgh. And let's check out the pitching probables for this series.
Yeah, some intriguing matchups, to say the least, in that the Cubs have been really pitching well. An 0.27 ERA for the starters collectively last time through the rotation. You know all about Arrieta, Henderson, Heron, both threw the ball well last time out. These guys for the Brewers that are pitching this weekend, all rookies. Not only are they rookies, collectively they've made 7 major league starts.
So the Cubs have a lot to play for. Obviously, health is the #1 key, and Jake Arrieta a chance maybe to win a Cy Young.
Yeah, bid for his 22nd win here tonight. If he gets it, you got to like his chances.
He has been the best pitcher in baseball since mid-June. He goes for his 22nd win in his final tune-up for the wild card game. Cubs and Brewers are next. Is on your side. Patrick chatted with Dave Martinez, Cubs bench coach, about his relationship with the manager, Joe Madden.
First time we met was in 1983 in instructional league. He was the instructional league coordinator for the Angels, and I was with the Cubs. And he just came up to me out of the blue one day. We were playing, and he said, "Hey, I really like the way you play," and talked to him for a little bit. And ever since then, I saw him. I ran back into him, and he said hello. We talked a little bit, and kind of kept in touch here and there, but not, really until 2006 when he became manager of the Tampa Bay Rays. Then I went over there and did spring training with him a couple of years, and next thing you know, I was the bench coach.
Well, you guys had such a good run in Tampa. When you guys got here, did you expect this to happen this fast?
We expected to be good. We didn't know how good we were going to be, but I know, Joe and I, we really don't have expectations. We want to come out and compete on an everyday basis and play the game the way it's supposed to be played. And we felt that with what Theo and Jed and ownership did here with the players that we had, that we could do that. And so happens we did a little bit quicker than people thought. But Joe and I both thought that we could do the things that we're capable of doing now. That we could do those things.
You were an original Cub, in the 80s when they were trying to build something like this. Do you think, is this a team that's built to last, like be good for a long time?
I think it is. I mean, if you look at our lineup right now and see how many young kids we have, I remember one day we sat around and we had 5 rookies starting the game. I mean, that's unbelievable. And I think these kids are going to be around a long time. They love coming to the ballpark. They play hard every day, and I think the future is bright for the Cubs.
Do you think they'll change once we get into the wild card game, maybe potential playoff games against the Cardinals? How are they going to handle the scrutiny that's going to be coming their way?
Well, if you know these guys like I know them, I think they're going to be fine. The most important thing is to keep everything fun, and they know that. We don't put any pressure on anybody. Just come out and have a good time and play the game pitch by pitch. That's all we ask. Just the main thing is just come out and have fun and just do the little things, and we'll be fine.
You would have seen Jake Arrieta a lot in the American League East. What happened here? How has he evolved into a Cy Young Award candidate now?
I think it's purely confidence. He's always had good stuff. We faced him in Baltimore. I remember sitting with Joe and said, "Man, this guy's got electric stuff." We knew he had it, and now he's just confident. Every time he goes out there, you can see. I see it in his eyes and his face. He's unbelievable. He's a workhorse. He likes to compete, and I think Jake Arrieta is only going to get better.
So the Cubs and the Brewers will get it going. Jake Arrieta, his final start of the regular season. Next time he'll take the ball will be Wednesday night in Pittsburgh.
To you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. AT&T Uverse. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT. Mobilizing your world. Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com.
Welcome back. Roof closed tonight here at Miller Park. And as it stands right now, the Cubs would head to Pittsburgh for the wild card game. They're still an outside shot, though, that they could host the Pirates. They're 2 games behind Pittsburgh with 3 to go. And good news, Eugenio Suarez has 3 RBIs. He had a home run in the second. They've added to their lead 4-0 as they lead Francisco Liriano. It's Keita Sampson pitching tonight for the Cincinnati Reds. So if the Cubs sweep this series, they would need the Reds to win 2 of 3 in that series. If the Cubs drop 1, they would need the Reds to win all 3. Let's hear from Joe Madden on Jake Arrieta tonight and kind of how he's going to plan this weekend looking ahead.
We try to win every game all the time. You're trying to balance this win tonight with some different. You're trying to balance win for the Cubs, balance win for Jake, to utilize bullpen and not overutilize bullpen for the next couple days. Keeping guys getting at bats, playing different positions. There's a lot of different variables going on right now that tempting to consider as you stand in the corner and don't do anything. I realize that, but I'm thinking about all these different things and trying to balance it all out. So those are my thoughts going into tonight's game.
Good stuff from Joe Madden as always. Now the Cubs Southwest starting lineup. Dexter Fowler in the leadoff spot. Kyle Schwarber is going to play right with Chris Bryant in left. Anthony Rizzo, excellent numbers here at Miller Park. Starlin Castro will play second and bat fifth. Miguel Montero, Addison Russell, then the pitcher Jake Arrieta. Tommy La Stella playing third and batting ninth.
And we take a peek at the Brewers defensively. You see Chris Davis in left, Schaefer in center, Santana right. Third to first will go Perez, Segura, Jeanette, Lind. And Nevin Ashley, he's a good story. 10 years in the minor leagues before being called up to the Brewers this year. He's the catcher. And rookie right-hander Ariel Pena on the mound for the Brewers. He's made 4 starts. He's pitched once in relief. He's 2-0 with a 3.91 ERA. He goes fastball, slider, changeup.
And here we go, and ball one on Dexter Fowler. And if tonight's Cubs leadoff man gets a hit, Benny's Beverage Depot will donate $100 to Make-A-Wish, Illinois. 1-1. 54 degrees outside, 64 under the roof. Panels are closed as well.
Cold and breezy here in Milwaukee today, but just fine here under the big top. 2-2 with a 4.14 ERA at AAA this year was Pena. Mostly out of the bullpen. He had been a starting pitcher up until this year. Brewers got him from the Angels in the Zach Greinke deal back in the summer of 2012.
Swing and a miss for strike 3. Umpires Ted Barrett, the crew chief, is working home plate. Adam Hammery is at first. Angel Hernandez at second. Chris Conroy at third. Now Kyle Schwarber playing right. This is his first start in right. He played a few innings out there off the bench, but making his first major league start at that position. 36 starts in left. He caught yesterday in Cincinnati. So the Cubs facing another pitcher they have not seen before.
Yeah, that will be the story here all weekend. At least the starters that the Brewers run out there. Well, first time the Cub hitters will have a look at them. It's been a trend here. They have faced, will have faced, unless there's a change of plan, 8 rookie starters in the last 12 ball games.
We'll keep an eye on that Reds Pirates series all weekend. Remember, the Reds go into that game tonight having lost 12 in a row. Swing and a miss. It's 2-2 on Schwarber.
Small sample size, just 23 major league innings pitched by Pena so far, but he's to this point been a fly ball type pitcher, and you can see why he likes to throw that elevated 4-seam fastball.
Apparently in the open I said Tuesday is the wild card game, but it is Wednesday. So jumping the gun.
Well, you're excited. It's understandable.
Right.
Gotta get him down.
He struck out the first 2 to start the ball game. Fowler and Schwarber, now Chris Bryant.
Well, a couple of days ago in Cincinnati, Anthony DeSclafani started the ball game by striking out the side in the first. He had 6 strikeouts to the first 7 batters, and it was like, and the Cubs ended up putting 5 runs on the board against him, and he did not make it out of the 6th inning.
Bryant sat out yesterday as he swings and misses. And a handful of bats here to try to pick up that 100th RBI before the end of the regular campaign.
Pena's kind of funky the way when it comes to his balance point, he kind of opens up his hips a little bit and falls towards first base. Almost like he's stepping more towards the Brewer dugout than towards home plate. And we see a lot of guys that throw across their body. He's just the opposite.
Swing and a miss. He strikes out the side. Jake Arrieta will take the ball, and we return to Milwaukee. Written out by Craig Counsell. Scooter Gennett has been hot as of late. 3 straight 2-hit games coming in. Logan Schaefer's been playing a lot in center as of late. Adam Lind has been very good for them offensively this year. Excellent second half for Chris Davis with 20 home runs. Domingo Santana came over from Houston. He's playing right. Gene Segura is at short. Hernan Perez at third. Nevin Ashley has been catching a lot for Ariel Pena, and they'll make up the battery tonight.
Cubs afield. Bryant in left, Fowler center, Kyle Schwarber for the first time as a starter in right field. Played a little bit there the other night. Listella, Russell, Castro, Rizzo third to first. Miguel Montero behind the plate. Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher. Mr. Jake Arrieta looking for his 22nd win.
And last chance to impress the voters, right? Well, that's not top of mind, but worth discussing.
Yeah,
I think he's got a great shot to win the Cy Young.
That's a Cy Young resume right there. You're looking at 32 starts, 21-6 with a 1.82 ERA, 229 strikeouts.
It would be nice to get a quality start tonight because it would be 20 in a row to finish the season. He's already got a club record 19 in a row dating back to June 21st. Fouled off.
His 21 wins, the most by a Cub pitcher since Fergie Jenkins won 24 back in 1971.
Gennett able to hold up. Two balls, 2 strikes. Cubs are going to win this season series. 11-5 through 16. They've won 10 of their last 9 of their last 10 after losing 4 of the first 6. There's a base hit. So Gennett is aboard.
The Cubs won 9 in a row until the Brewers beat them in the final game of the 3-game set back at Wrigley on the last homestand. This is Jake's 4th start against the Brewers this year. His last one, a complete game shutout. That was win number 24.
Schaefer has now started 11 of Milwaukee's last 13 games. Brewers wearing their throwbacks here on Friday night, and I like them. I think that should be their main look. Ball and glove logo. Throw to first. Jeanette dives back safely.
Yeah, Jeanette doesn't really have the skill set you look for in a leadoff man. He's not a base stealer. He's not a high on base guy. He can handle the bat a little bit. He'd be probably better suited down in the lineup. But they don't have a lot of options. Gene Segura is not an on base threat. He can run, but he's not an on base guy. Craig Counsell just having to make do with this reworked roster. Injuries, trades have changed the look of this team significantly. Unlike that Cincinnati club we just saw, except for they wear blue and the Cincinnati team wears red.
Right.
Craig Counsell's job is not in jeopardy. Brian Price over in Cincinnati could be on the hot seat.
Yep. It's a strike. It's 2-1. 96. And that fastball from Arrieta.
Well, that's the thing about Arrieta. He's like an out of control downhill freight train. He's getting better as the season goes on. There's no sign of fatigue. His velocity last time out, his average velocity, was the best it has been all year.
Another check on Jeanette.
Whenever this season ends for the Cubs, it's going to be difficult to pry the baseball out of Arrieta's hand. It's going so well for him. He'll want to go to winter ball or something. He said, no, you're good. Save it for next year.
Three and one.
Pretty good looking pitch there. Ted Barrett deemed it was a little low.
Since he last started on Sunday night, including that start, that one turn through the rotation, off the charts great. 1 earned run in 33 1/3 innings allowed by the Cubs rotation. Broken bat pop up that'll get out of play. Ed Hardig noting the 0.27 earned run average, 3rd lowest ERA, covering 5 games by Cubs starting pitchers since 1914. Behind 1919 and 1936 staffs.
Ed's a grinder, isn't he? My goodness, he digs up some nuggets.
He knows stuff. Pitches in. Jake still looking for his first out. 3-2. There goes Jeanette. Swing and a miss. Throw to second. Safe. Russell thinks he tagged Jeanette. And Joe may want another look at it.
And that's, when you watch that play develop, you see the throw go to the inside a little bit. You think, well, he's going to be safe. But we've seen Addison Russell time and again be able to come across the bag, catch the ball, and make a sweep tag all in one motion. We'll see here whether he gets him or not. He got him on the right cheek, I believe, but Jeanette may have been on the bag. Russell can't really tell where the base runner is. I think he's just letting Joe know that he did make contact.
And he will not challenge. So first steal for Jeanette. A guy named Scooter would run a lot. It's only the 9th steal of his career, covering 318 games. Now Adam Lynn. In his 5th 20-homer campaign.
Well, we have this conversation a lot in Arrieta starts. How aggressive is the other team going to be on the bases? You would think you would want to try to push it a little bit because it's tough to think you're just going to stand in there toe-to-toe and string together a bunch of base hits.
0-2 on Lynn.
Been having a heck of a year. He's hitting .341 with runners in scoring position. He's been good here in his own ballpark too. Against Arrieta, career 4 out of 20. It's a .200 batting average, 1 home run.
All 20 of his home runs have been against righties. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Back-to-back Ks for Arrieta.
Uncle Charlie. We talk about 12-6 sharp downward breaker. He's got it.
Now Chris Davis. He's got 20 home runs all since the All-Star break. 5 times this year he's hit 2 homers in a game.
He's clumpy. Very clumpy. His home runs are very clumpy.
Runner at second, 2 outs, first inning. Blew it past him, 1-1. Carlos Gonzalez has more home runs in the second half among National League players. How about Matt Carpenter?
He's changed his game.
The power year he has had.
Little paint, little Picasso on the corner. And you've got him set up. Back to the breaking ball, elevated heater. Cutter would be a fine choice. He has so many weapons.
With the curveball, and that'll get the job done. Castro makes the play. And the Brewers can't convert after the leadoff single and steal 0-0 after 1. with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, highlights, replay reviews, scores, StatCast, live radio broadcasts, and more. Get MLB.com at bat now. Well, let's go back to opening day. Yeah, Kyle Loesch was their opening day starter. He's now in their bullpen. Matt Garza is not with the club. He'll be back next year. He went home early. Willie Peralta. Mike Fiers got traded. Jimmy Nelson unfortunately had his season end due to that comebacker. Hit him in the head. Peralta has a sore oblique, so he was shut down recently. And we told the story of Matt Garza in Chicago. I think it was early September, right? He made what was his final start, and they asked him if he would pitch out of the bullpen because they wanted to look at some of these rookies. And he said he'd rather not, and eventually decided to go home. His wife was due with twins. As Rizzo strikes out, that's 4 in a row for Pena.
Yeah, not a bad idea if Garza wasn't going to work out of the bullpen, and there was no real need for that. I think they were just kind of feeling him out to see if he was interested in doing it, and once he said no, not really. Initially he was upset being taken out of the rotation, but I think at some point he'll realize time to turn the page and move on. So go home, reset, come back, and try to have a strong year next year.
Yeah, it sounded like they smoothed everything over. Here's Starlin Castro. Somebody needs to put a ball in play. And he went around. Going to Adam Hammery. Strike one. Talked to Craig Counsell at Wrigley Field about managing, and he said nothing has surprised him in terms of what he expected about being a big league manager. A 2-bouncer to Perez, and Castro is out. First Cub to put a ball in play. He said the one thing is he thought he would have more time to deal with the big picture stuff. And he said, I have to do all that away from the park. He said the minute I get into my office every day, it's all the little stuff. It's yes, that's a lot. That has been the biggest adjustment.
Just getting ready to play the game, dealing with the media, dealing with talking to your coaches, making sure everybody's all set. Most first-time managers talk about the speed of the game. They didn't realize how quickly the game moved when you're in that seat having to make all the decisions.
Montero with 2 outs and nobody on here in the second.
That's basically what a bench coach's job is, to be that other mind that's thinking along with you and maybe out in front of you at times. Hey, don't forget about this. You want me to get so and so ready?
Fouled off. Swing and a miss. Pena has looked very impressive. 5 strikeouts in the first 2 innings. Charities by being part of our holiday tradition. Purchase your limited edition Chicago Cubs home and away Christopher Radko glass ornament. Ornaments are $60. All proceeds will benefit Cubs charities. Visit cubs.com/ornament for more information. Showed you the opening day rotation, and currently for the Brewers, here's their opening day starting lineup. Carlos Gomez traded to Houston. Jonathan Lucroy missed time with a toe injury. Not starting as a catcher right now because of a concussion. Ryan Braun done for the year. Aramis Ramirez traded. Lind is still in there. Davis, Jeanette, but lots of changes. Domingo Santana lines to Schwarber.
And Santana, one of the changes, he's over from the Astros in the Carlos Gomez deal.
And I guess if you're 68 and 91, unless you start the year with a really young team, you probably should make all those changes, right?
Yeah, why not, right?
There's Segura.
There's an old Italian proverb that says if your house is burning down, you might as well warm yourself by it. So you might as well make the best of a bad situation.
Well, they've continued to draw well. This weekend they will finish the year by going over 2.5 million in attendance for the 9th consecutive season. Segura strikes out. Number 3 for Jake.
Well, we've seen a number of the Brewer hitters come up swinging early, trying to attack that first pitch fastball, because once you get into put away counts, he's got so many options and he can make you look silly with that breaking ball. So Segura on 2 strikes. Chase that bounce curveball.
Now the third baseman Perez was chatting with a beat writer before the game who has a vote for the National League MVP award. And he asked me where would I rank Jake Arrieta. And I think it's a really interesting question.
Yeah, I had that same conversation with said baseball writer. I don't know.
I think Bryce Harper is the MVP and will win it. I don't know where you put Arrieta. There are a lot of good MVP candidates who are position players. And then you've got Arrieta, Greinke, and Kershaw to think about.
Well, it's certainly reasonable to think that those 3 pitchers would end up in the top 10, and I don't know how often that happens. We have 3 pitchers in the top 10 in the MVP race, because a lot of writers just won't vote for a pitcher for MVP. They figure that's a position players award, and the Cy Young is for pitchers.
Not everyone will agree with me. I do think Joey Votto deserves a top 5 finish, if not top 3, because I think he's had the offensive equivalent to what Jake Arrieta has done in the second half.
Yeah.
I mean, historic second half. But he's going to be on a last place club. So I'm not saying he should win it. I'm not saying he should even finish second, but somewhere in that top 5, I think there's a place for Joey Votto.
And for me, that's the problem with this award. People come at it from these awards. People come at it from different angles. For me, I wish it was just a player of the year and a pitcher of the year. Regardless, it doesn't matter how your team fares. Just who's the best performer on the mound and who's the best position player.
I put Rizzo in my top 3. I guess you heard my top 3 then. I'd probably go Harper, Rizzo, Votto at this point. And Arrieta would definitely be a consideration.
What about Goldschmidt?
Too many choices. mentioned, Ariel Pena has been lights out here early on, battling Jake Arrieta. He has struck out 5 of the first 6, and if it feels familiar, there's a reason for that, right?
Yeah, this is what we saw from Anthony DeSclafani. You're looking at 2 pages of my scorebook on the left. The first 2 innings of the DeSclafani game the other day in Cincinnati, and to the right, tonight's game. On both occasions, the only contact was a ground ball to third base by Castro in the second inning. Addison Russell, who's batting now, led off the third, and he was caught looking in that game. So if he gets rung up here for strike 3, we've got a Twilight Zone kind of thing going on.
Drilled deep to left and way foul. Russell out front. That's the thing with young pitchers. As we said the other night, not that it's easy to do what he's done here these first 2 innings. Really tough to do it for 7 or 8.
Right.
And it's what we've seen Arrieta do for 3 months.
That's the amazing thing, right? A lot of times, too, when a young kid's going along like this and all of a sudden you put a man or 2 on against him, put a little pressure on him, then maybe he starts to overthrow a little bit, starts to doubt his stuff.
He's already tied his career high in 2 innings with these 5 strikeouts. Fly ball beat to left. Davis goes back in the corner, off the top of the wall. Russell just missed a home run. As it is, he's got a leadoff double.
Consider a little pressure applied. Leadoff double here to start the third for Addison Russell. Comes up about 18 inches shy of his 14th home run. Oh, less than 18.
Barry Jones chatting with Arrieta about what he'd like him to do here. Corner men pulled in, expecting a bunt attempt. Jake hit a home run in his last start and nearly hit 2. It was the first home run A.J. Burnett had ever allowed to an opposing pitcher. On the ground, and Perez makes the play while keeping Russell at second. 1 out. Keeps with Joe's theme of swing early, bunt late. Never got to the late part of the count.
Yeah, good read there by Russell. You got to make sure that ball gets through. Perez chases it back, has plenty of time to fire across the diamond to get Arrieta.
Tommy La Stella playing third. Kick and the pitch. Ball 1. Andrew McCutchen with a home run in the 4th inning. We get the Pirates on the board. They trail 4-1 in the 5th to the Reds. Joey Votto has tied Pete Rose for the Reds club record of 48-game on-base streak.
Segura got a little daylight in there behind Russell. They had a shot at him. Addison a little late to react. Well, I would think those would be fun games for the Reds to play in Pittsburgh. In their ballpark, playing out the string here. There were way more Cub fans than Reds fans. And there wasn't a real lively atmosphere. Obviously, the home folks have turned their attention to the Bengals or whatever else they're, Oktoberfest and doing the chicken dance and all that good stuff. But in Pittsburgh, it'll be a full house. Place will be rocking and rolling.
And the Reds have won 10 of 16 against the Pirates this year. So for whatever reason, they match up well with the Pirates. They actually swept the Pirates in Cincinnati to start the season. And then won 2 of 3 in Pittsburgh in early May.
Maybe they just got the Pirates at the right time because the Pirates really got hot. Mid-May is when they went off.
Old foul on the ground.
Got to make that play. Come on, 99.
Good effort. Just couldn't get it.
Yeah, just explaining right there. Dirt, all took a funny pick on me.
Line shot right field, and it's down and all the way to the wall. Russell's going to score. La Stella to second. He's got a double, and it's 1-0 Cubs.
Crack in the bat there by La Stella. Santana not able to cut it off. Russell was going to score. It became easy when the ball went all the way to the wall. Stella into scoring position.
Dexter Fowler. Career high 102 runs scored. And 1 strike on him. It's a big deal for a leadoff guy. It's a big deal for anybody to score 100 runs.
He's had more plate appearances as a leadoff man than anybody in the National League. .340 and change on base percentage. Middle of the pack in the NL for leadoff guys. He brings power to the leadoff position that many don't have.
Two and one. Deep breath by the right-hander. Look at La Stella. Down to the plate. It's a high strike. Mentioned Nevin Ashley, the catcher. He's matching up with Pena. 4th time he has caught Pena at this level.
Ashley, a veteran, as I mentioned, this is his first time in the big leagues. A 10-year minor leaguer prior to this, 4 different organizations, including Tampa.
Foul pop-up over third and just behind the dugout.
As a matter of fact, I believe he was called up to Tampa at one point, but he was not activated. And the other really interesting thing about Nevin Ashley is his wife's name is Ashley. So she's Ashley Ashley.
That's great.
And if Wayne Simpson was pitching.
Ashley Simpson. Beautiful. That'll be a wild pitch. Runner at third with only 1 out.
There was a little bit of a cross up there. Actually, he has a good reputation defensively. Should have been able to handle that one. He may have been crossed up. The way he kind of jabbed at it, it looked like he was fooled.
Infield will come in on a 3-2.
You cannot concede a run when you're up against Jake Arrieta.
Here it is. He walked him. First and third for Schwarber.
Pressure, bust a pipe.
Got some feedback on our MVP discussion. A lot of people said we're overlooking Nolan Arenado. Yeah, he's going to get MVP consideration. It's not even close, though. Bryce Harper's had a way better year. As good as Arenado's been. His on-base percentage is .322, his slugging .570. Harper, .461 on base, .647 slug. And Arenado's the guy who plays half his games at altitude.
Right.
Now, he's a superior defender. And he could finish in the top 5. But no, if it's Harper or Arenado. Harper's batting average is, I think, 9 points better than Arenado's on base percentage. So. Good lead by Fowler. 0-1 on Schwarber. Rests the bat on his back shoulder and takes a pitch outside. 1-1. Well, traffic has helped, hasn't it? Pena's really slowed things down. He's not throwing strikes.
Getting everybody out, you just get it and throw it. You don't think that much about it. Put a little pressure on a guy, and all of a sudden he's second guessing himself, questioning, well, what should I do here? You go from being the predator to looking like the prey.
Two and one. I want to wish Matt Simcoe a happy 36th birthday. It's from Misty.
Let's see here. When's the last time Al Schwarber went deep? A little bit, hasn't it?
I thought the first 3 or 4 hits of the September were home runs,
yeah.
but
September 12th in Philly. He's due.
He is.
Be a good time.
Well, a hitter's count. Strike 2.
Man, he's called that high slider a couple of times. He called one on Fowler. Now this one, according to our little grid there, it's at the top of the zone, but just never see a breaking ball up there called a strike. Didn't look strike-ish, did it?
No.
But if you're a fan of a bigger strike zone, it's hard to argue with that, especially since it was over the plate.
Fowler not running. 3-2 is drilled foul.
Ariel Pena is making his 5th big league start. Previous 4 all exactly 5 innings. His first outing was in relief. He worked 3 innings and then 4 5-inning starts. After a full minor league season, they're obviously keeping an eye on the innings load for him.
Got the win in relief in that major league debut. Tapped foul on the check swing. Happy 63rd to Christine Reed, the Cub fan. Bounce to first. They get one. And they get two. That'll go 3-6-3 to end the inning. Cubs do get on the board first, however. Russell and Mostello with the doubles. And it's 1-0. Hashtag Northside Data Strong Fan. And you just might see yourself later in the game. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Here's the catcher, Ashley. 870 minor league games. 4 organizations: Tampa Bay, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and Milwaukee before his major league debut. That was a lot of squatting.
A lot of squatting, a lot of bus rides, a lot of doubt, no doubt, about whether he should shut it down. And nice to see a guy like that rewarded and get some big league time.
I think when he met his future wife, she at least had second thoughts about
being Ashley.
Yeah. I mean, as cool as we think it is,
yeah, she's like,
she must really love you, Nevin, to marry you.
Of all the guys to fall in love with, the guy whose last name is my first name.
Pena puts a ball in play for the first time. He had gone 0 for 6. And 6 strikeouts. So he grounds out to first.
Yeah, Arrieta, you see the numbers on him April 8th through June 16th. So beginning of the year through the middle of June, 6-5 with a 340. And then he found another gear, to say the least. 15-1 with an 089. And the one loss was the Cole Hamels no-hitter, so that's what it basically took to beat him.
And he was not an all-star.
7-0 with a 0.30 ERA over his last 8 starts. I swear you're going to go into your local Walgreens in Chicago here Christmas time, and you're going to be able to buy a chia pet that grows an Arrieta beard. The Jake Arrieta chia pet.
There you go, right there.
They got a head start. Could be a year of the beard, right, with Dallas Keuchel in the American League?
Very well could be. Probably opening a can of worms I shouldn't, but I have never owned a chia pet. What is the concept? I mean, I know what ultimately happens. Stuff grows in the pet.
The concept is people, I don't know what to get this person for a gift.
That's stuff that makes up chia pet. Send us a tweet. All you chia pet.
Give us the science behind the chia pet.
1-0. Oakland, get ready for the action with Bears pregame live, presented by Meyer. After it goes final, flip back to CSN Plus for locker room reaction from Soldier Field and more on Bears postgame live, presented by Nissan, beginning Sunday at 11 a.m. on CSN Chicago. Chris Bryant leading off the Cubs' fourth. Outside, ball one. Old foul just behind the tarp. Happy 68, Bob Lampe from McHenry, Illinois, big Cub fan. Luke Sobiek from Denver, happy 37. Jason Worth had a chia pet, the chia beard.
Well, there you go.
So I mean, the Arrieta, the chia beard. So Arrieta's got it.
Especially if he wins the Cy Young, a chia Cy. Everybody's getting on my holiday gift list.
Ground ball hit hard, and it'll be the second baseman on the other side of the bag, Jeanette, to make the play.
Hit hard, but Jeanette in the right spot.
Rizzo sitting on 96 RBIs. Can he drive in 4 this weekend? Bob Nightingale, the fine national baseball writer for USA Today, laid out quite a scenario for the Houston Astros. It is possible that they could tie the Angels and Twins, 3-way tie for the second wild card. And the Astros, who are in Arizona right now, could go from Arizona on Sunday to Minnesota on Monday. High deep drive to right. Rizzo has RBI 97. Home run number 31. Can he drive in 3 more?
Wouldn't bet against him. Would not bet against him. He can get clumpy. Well, like they're trying to crowd him a little bit, and he was ready. Quick in there. Turned on that inside fastball. There's your Ford home run replay. Looks familiar. He's a fair bit of damage in this ballpark. .324 lifetime hitter here. That's his 10th home run in Miller Park.
1-1 on Castro.
So where are the Astros?
So the Astros could go from Phoenix on Sunday to Minneapolis on Monday to Houston on Tuesday to New York on Wednesday and then to Toronto or Kansas City on Friday. I've never ever heard of an itinerary like that in Major League Baseball, but it was possible. That ball driven deep left center, and it's going to run off the wall. Castro has his first hit here in October. After hitting .426 in September, he is now 1 for 6 to start this month.
Yeah, he has backed up more outfielders in the last month than he did in the first 4. It's just really been incredible, the turnaround. Leaving the ballpark, banging him off the wall. You know, there was a period there when he lost his job, and you're starting to kind of play the who's going to be on the postseason roster game, where it looked like he could be on the outside looking in. I mean, clearly that's not the case now. What a response, right?
Yep.
That's the old thing about when you measure a guy by not, you know, how far he bounces once he hits bottom. He hit bottom and he has bounced back in a big way.
Give him a ton of credit, and he has gone from being a question mark to be on a playoff roster to most likely being the starting second baseman on Wednesday against the Pirates. Ball 1 to Montero.
Well, it's interesting you talk about the Astros and their potential, but just the fact that we're talking about the Astros in the postseason and the Cubs in the postseason. Today's the anniversary, and we were both there in 2012. You and Brentley were referring to it as the Bizarro World Series,
right,
when the Astros and the Cubs met at the end of the year, and they both had 100 losses, and that was the first time that had happened in a long time.
It was only 3 years ago. Wow. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, it was the first matchup of 100 lost teams since 1962.
Would that have been the Astros and Mets?
Probably.
Or Colt 45s?
Yeah.
Pause by Pena, and a 1-2 is too high.
Actually, it would have been Cubs-Mets. So the Mets lost 120 ball games. Cubs were 59 and 103 that year.
So the Rangers are in. And Texas win or Houston loss this weekend. They win the American League West. Yankees clinched a wild card last night with their 10,000th all-time victory. So they're back in the playoffs after missing out the last 2 years. So third baseman Perez to make the catch. 2 outs. And it's Russell who picked up a leadoff double and scored the first run of the game in the third. Concern. And remember, we mentioned a couple of games yesterday had been moved up because of weather on the East Coast. The hurricane really mess up the weather this weekend. Pirates inching their way back into that game against the Reds, 4-2 in the 6th. Russell will be intentionally walked with Arrieta, the pitcher, on deck. What I was reading, I don't think there is really a contingency if, like, the Mets and Dodgers, right, trying to figure out who has home field advantage. They really want all 162 to be played, but if you have what otherwise would be a meaningless series that has a rain out, what would you rather do? I mean, if you're MLB, do you want a playoff team to have to play 1 or 2 extra games beyond Sunday? Or just go to some sort of tiebreaker?
Yeah, I don't know. Have they discussed it? Has anything come out of the league office on it?
I guess the rules don't really cover it. Ashley will head out to talk to Pena. Now they want to go after Arrieta. Mets do win the tiebreaker if they finish with the same record and they go into play tonight. Mets 89 and 70. Dodgers 89 and 70.
Well, I guess if the weather didn't allow you to play the game, then you would just somebody would be a half game better than the other club, and that would be the best record.
If you're the Mets and you're a half game behind and you need to play that extra game, and if you win it, you get home field. Wouldn't you want to play it?
I know, but I've been moaning if the league would say, "Well, that's the game's
Yep.
banged," and so you end up finishing a half game behind.
Well, they were postponed tonight. Nationals and Mets. Yankees and Orioles, Marlins and Phillies all washed out.
It's interesting that you bring that up because I was doing some reading here earlier on this date in baseball history. Today's the anniversary of the last triple header played in Major League Baseball, circa 1920.
2 teams played 3 games.
Yep.
Now the Dodgers and Mets, they'll start next weekend, so they do have some time to play with.
And in 1920, the Reds and the Pirates battling to determine third place. They played a triple header.
Wow. Swing and a miss, and the inning is over. Anthony Rizzo with his 31st home run. And the Cubs now have a 2-0 lead as we move to the bottom of the 4th from Milwaukee.
and then the other pitches, the slider. I love his curveball, which doesn't even throw that often, and now the changeup has been introduced. My point was, in the beginning of the year, that I thought he had all these different weapons that he didn't know how to use in particular moments. In other words, sometimes a pitcher with all that ability, all that kind of stuff, may sometimes feel the need to throw something else, just to throw something else, where they've seen this other stuff. Not necessarily true with him. Sometimes you throw this other stuff, you might be giving the hitter actually a break. So I think he's figured out how to only break the other goodies out when it's necessary. I think that's exactly what I was talking about earlier in the year.
Joe Madden on his ace, Jake Arrieta.
Why throw a changeup when you know you can throw a fastball by a guy, that kind of thing. Understanding your strength versus a hitter's weaknesses.
Left field line and to the seats, foul. Well, Arrieta and Lester, 200 strikeout teammates, go back to Wood and Pryor, Wood and Clement. And then prior to that, Fergie and Ken Holtzman. Strike three.
Right on cue. Second time he's gotten Schaefer. Fifth one tonight for Arrieta. This time a fastball on the inside corner. So we were chatting in the press dining room there earlier, and I threw this out there. You and Coombe, and then I talked to some scouts about it.
Yeah.
And the question was this.
Lind grounds to the right side, and it'll be Arrieta to cover. 4-1. Continue.
The question that I posed was this. If you were placing a wager on the outcome of this outing for Arrieta tonight, and your choices were 6 shutout innings or anything else, which would you take? And the fact that you have to think about it and consider it speaks to how good this guy has been.
Yeah, I think, and I don't bet, and I wouldn't bet, but there's Ron Coomer. I would take the other just because it encompasses everything
Every
else.
other scenario, yeah.
He is hurtling toward 6 shutout innings right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a great question. What did the scouts say?
Oh, they were like, well, I think Joe will get him out of there after 5, or they were like, and I said, well, no, I said, let's presume he's going to go 6 because he's got this quality start thing going. He's, unless he throws a lot of pitches, he's going to get 6 in. Nobody would commit.
That'll drop. 2-out single Davis.
The conversation went something like, well, gee, sooner or later he's got to give up. He's got to have a bad outing, doesn't he? And then we all came to the conclusion that no, we all buy into that baseball philosophy that the odds catch up to you, the game catches up to you. But when you're pitching at or performing at such a high level, whether it's a position player or a pitcher, that almost guaranteed failure that sneaks in every now and then, it doesn't apply when the guys are on a roll like this. You could see him staying right where he's been all the way through, hopefully a long postseason.
That snaps a streak of 11 straight batters retired by Jake after the leadoff hit by Jeanette in the first inning.
Santana, when we saw him in Chicago, he's a big, strong kid. He has power. He's got a lot of tools, but he really struggled with spin. Breaking balls seemed to really throw him off. Two 2-0. He'll be sitting dead red here.
Well, let's get an update on the Reds and the Pirates. It was 4-0 Cincinnati, and not anymore. And the Pirates have scored 3 times in the 6th to tie it.
Breaking balls have been called strikes up there at the top of the zone. This time Barrett doesn't call the high fastball. It seems to me that Jake is backing off his cutter here tonight, not throwing as many. There's a good one.
3-2. So now backing up. Davis runs, swinging a miss, inning over. Jake Arrieta. Being Jake Arrieta. 2-0. Exclusive interviews and behind-the-scenes features of the people and places that make Cubs baseball one of a kind. Watch The Hunt for October, presented by Feldco, tonight on Sportsnet Central. I missed the piece, I think it was last night on our broadcast.
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
I'm sure you were great, as always.
I don't recall being particularly great.
Ball one on Tommy La Stella. Question on Twitter from Mike. Is Davey Martinez a candidate for possible managerial position this offseason? Absolutely, Mike. He has been a candidate in the past. And I do think it's a matter of time before he gets that opportunity. And we know Joe would not want to lose him, but he'd be very happy for Davey on a personal level. Yeah.
Who's in the market for a manager this winter?
Nope.
Pat Murphy's got the interim tag in San Diego, and I think they've lifted that, so they may be.
I think that's a possibility. Washington, maybe.
Yeah, there's a lot of heat on Matt Williams.
Miami's hiring. They're interviewing already. Right. La Stella shoots one toward the gap in right center. He cut off by Schaefer. Nicely done. He'll keep La Stella to a single. He's 2 for 2.
He's a good young batsman. I love his approach. It's tough for you. He's not a big guy. He's got a small strike zone. He's got a quick bat. He hits the ball all over the field. That's a pretty good combination. And he's strong, too. Strong lower base. So the White Sox today have announced that Robin Ventura will be back.
Fowler with a runner on, nobody out. Pena will throw to first.
Well, it's an enviable position to be in if you're Dave Martinez. If a managerial job comes along, that's great. But if your plan B is to come back to Chicago as the bench coach,
not bad.
With the future this club has, yeah, it's pretty nice.
Seattle's got a new GM.
Jerry DiPoto.
Yeah. So it sounded like he wanted to get to know Lloyd McClendon before making a decision there. There could be a lot of movement. Brad Ausmus will be back in Detroit. Melvin is secure in Oakland. I think he got an extension, in fact, didn't he? I think he did.
I'm going to go with yes. Just based on the level of your conviction.
That's your automatic yes.
Yeah. If you think he did, I'm going to say, by golly, he did.
He did. He got a 2-year extension early in September.
Walt Weiss might be in some trouble out in Denver.
Three balls and a strike.
Ariel Pena might be in a little trouble here.
Well, Terry Collins was in trouble. And then the Mets had this great run to win the division. He could end up manager of the year. Joe Madden, Mike Matheny in the mix. Estella not going, and that ball hit in the air to left. And it's hauled in by Davis.
Yeah, there's someone warming in the Brewer bullpen. As we mentioned, David Goforth. Pena has pitched just 5 innings in each of his 4 big league starts. He spent most of the year, he had always been a starter, but he did a lot more relieving than starting this year in the minor leagues.
Rick Kranitz, pitching coach. Could not hold. Cubs trying to do their part, leading 2-0 as they look for their 6th straight win. Now they're hoping the Reds beat the Pirates as Schwarber got clipped.
Well, that's not a fun night at the plate so far for Schwarber. Strikeout, ground into a double play, and now drilled with a fastball. Maybe the bottom of that pad.
2 on for Bryant. Maybe this could be the at bat. 99 RBIs. 2 men on base. Mention the MVP voters. They vote for 10 players. And I think Chris Bryant will show up in the top 10 on some ballots.
Looking to become the first rookie to drive in 100 since Ryan Zimmerman in 2006. First NL rookie to do that.
Go back to our conversation earlier about some people believe the pitchers have their award, position players have their award. There might be some voters who don't put any of the 3 starting pitchers on the top 10 in the MVP voting.
Right.
And that's where maybe a Bryant could sneak into that 8, 9, 10 slot. High fly ball. And Santana get together, and it gets out of the glove of the center fielder. Bases loaded. What a break.
Yeah, we saw some shaky outfield play for the Brewers back at Wrigley. Santana, in particular, looks a little raw and unsure of himself out there. And I think that's why Schaefer was so aggressive pursuing that high fly ball. It looked like Santana's play, but Schaefer came over, tried to wave him off. Santana didn't hear him. And what appeared to be a very harmless fly ball, it turns into be an E somebody. I don't know who they're going to give it to, but probably Schaefer.
Yeah, I would think he could hit his glove first. That will end.
You got to be kidding me.
They gave it to Santana. Okay. So pitching change here. Cubs have the bases loaded with Anthony Rizzo coming up, trying to add to their 2-0 lead, and we'll be right back. Talking about it during the pitching change.
Yeah, look how far Schaefer goes in pursuit of this high fly ball. You know, the center fielder is the quote-unquote captain of the outfield and takes priority, but this is a pretty basic fly ball to right field that Schaefer probably should have left alone, and then the ability to get together on it, and it could prove to be very costly for the Brewers. But again, Santana, he looks a little tentative out there, so I guess you could understand Schaefer being pretty aggressive in his pursuits.
David Goforth will face Anthony Rizzo with the bases loaded and 1 out.
He's another rookie. He has pitched 18 times at the big league level to a 4.09 ERA. He throws fastballs and sliders. That heater up into the mid-90s. At a 2.68 ERA in 38 appearances at AAA. Well, Rizzo's looking to get to 100 RBIs. Here's a great opportunity.
Absolutely. Coleman for his 87th run knocked in. And the 4th.
You know he wants that number more than Chris, right? There'll be a little friendly competition going on with those two guys.
And 2.
Choke up a little bit. Widen the stance, use the hands, punch a little single the other way, and drive in 2.
AT&T U-verse multi-view. Bases full. Stella, Schwarber, Bryant. 3rd, 2nd, 1st. There's a base hit. Couple of runs should score. LaStella is in. Here comes Schwarber. Anthony Rizzo now at 99 RBIs. He has tied Chris Bryant.
He didn't go the other way, but he choked up. He used the hands. He played a little pepper with the center fielder and rewarded for his good work with 2 more driven in.
4-0.
That's a great approach. Shot in Cincinnati with Votto. We've seen it all year with Anthony.
Castro with runners at the corners. Ball 1.
Look at the difference in Castro. Probably haven't looked at the numbers, but I'm guessing over the last month his ground ball rate is way down. He's a ground ball hitter, was an extreme ground ball hitter for most of the year.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. That's one this time on the ground foul.
But that was the more typical swing. It's atypical now. Kind of off balance, lunging for the breaking ball. He was infected with that virus for a long time, that rollover virus, and finally got cured.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Two outs. Here's Montero.
Sharp slider off the plate, so not completely cured. That's the nature of the game.
Ball 1 to Montero. David Goforth, 5'10", 205. 19th appearance in his rookie season. And Davis makes the catch, and that'll end the inning. Anthony Rizzo has knocked in 3 tonight, and the Cubs lead 4-0 in the 5th.
Advice.
Gene Segura against Jake Arrieta. And Segura knocked down by that pitch. And we want to welcome all our viewers watching on Sharon Telephone in Hills, Iowa.
Trying to go down and away with a two-seamer, and a rare misfire by Arrieta. Of course, he was in the dugout a good long while as the Cubs battled in the top half of the inning. Fairly faint effort at that cutter off the outside corner after the chin music.
And we got some feedback on Twitter. You looked it up. Was it Fangraphs had the month-to-month?
Yeah.
And Castro's ground ball rate down significantly.
Way down, yeah.
I mean, it was 50, 60, even 70%.
Well, yeah, it was 50s and 60s, and league average I think is about 44, 45, somewhere in there. And he's 37% now, so he's actually driving the ball, hitting it in the air, hitting it on the line. Much improved. And even the way he reacted to that strikeout earlier, you could see kind of a defeated Castro. Now you're just seeing a mad Castro.
Stalin gets Segura.
Right now is a great time to plan for your 2016 Cubs spring training experience at beautiful Sloan Park. Go to Cubs.com/Sloan Park. Place a deposit on season tickets and secure the best seats available. Individual spring training tickets will go on sale in January, so be sure to visit Cubs.com/Sloan Park for the latest updates.
Perez couldn't hold. Reds and Pirates still tied 4-4, bottom of the 7th. Francisco Liriano only went 5 innings. Gave up all 4 runs. 0-2.
And we almost never see him pitch poorly. That'd be something if the Reds could pull that game out. Put a little pressure on Pittsburgh.
It's softly to a charging Listella. Out at first.
Well, pretty play. That ball stayed down on him. He was expecting that ball to come up a little bit. It did not. Watch get moved. Off balance throw right on the money. Long way to go and a short time to get there.
Jerry Reed?
I believe so.
He's bounding down. One ball, no strikes on Ashley, the catcher. And Martin Maldonado mostly with Jonathan Lucroy out. We might see Lucroy in this series, but he will not catch after his concussion. Rizzo unassisted. 5 shutout frames for Jake Arrieta. 4-0 Cubs. Cubs destination. Spring training packages include game tickets, hotel accommodations, a rental car, Cubs swag, and a private meet and greet with Cubs players. Details available soon at Cubs.com/travel. Really glad the Cubs are in the playoffs for a lot of reasons, but one of them is I would not want Jake Arrieta's season to end tonight. I want to keep watching him pitch.
Yeah, good point.
He'll probably get one more inning tonight. Arrieta's ERA is down to 1.78.
It's funny, as an ex-pitcher, I marvel at it. And I'm so envious of it to be that good for that long. Really remarkable.
Swing and a miss. The Pirates have faced him a lot this year. Have not had much success against him. They've had their advanced scouts watching the Cubs here lately. I don't know what their game plan will be against him. But I don't know if he's on his game, if it'll matter. Deep center at the bat of Russell. got 2 doubles tonight.
He's not going to be able to collect his security deposit. He keeps putting holes in the wall here. Well, maybe next time up he'll go off the right field wall. He went to left, now he goes straight away center. Well, that's a pretty swing. There's one strong young man, and he looks good in a dress too, by the way.
Cubs rookie Tripp. They all had to wear some outfits they normally would not wear. And Russell ducked into the elevator as quickly as he could when we got to the team hotel. Arrieta not going to be happy with himself again. Second straight time he's bounced to third with Russell at second and nobody out. Now there's one away. Going to bring up Listella.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Joe told him, don't butt. Don't put yourself in any danger.
Right.
Breaking a finger or something funky like that.
I had referenced earlier the Brewers are wearing their Friday throwbacks, honoring the late 70s and 80s. The lighter blue pinstripe home uniforms and the ball and glove logo. I had a bunch of people tweet, did you know that's an M and a B? And my answer is, not only did I know that, the first time I remember seeing that logo, I was probably 8 or 9 years old. I remember thinking it was an M and a B, and it took me like 10 years to figure out it was a ball and a glove.
So you were at the end of the B first.
I saw the letters and not what it made. And then when I was told it was a ball and glove, I thought that's the most genius logo I've ever seen. Davis over near the line, and he stays on his feet to retire Listella.
That one's all about positioning there. Davis in a little bit and cheating towards the line. Otherwise, Listella's probably got an RBI knock.
Did you see both when you first saw that logo? Did you go,
I
that's
don't
a cool
recall.
M and a B and a ball and a glove?
I don't recall, to tell you the truth. I'm going to guess I was thinking more ball and glove.
So most people would see that.
Because the old Expo logo is a
similar
baseball thing going on in there.
And I do think a couple of teams should try to go back to the old baby blue road look instead of the gray. Everybody does gray on the road. I think if the Brewers went back to this logo, that baby blue would look really nice, and I think the Royals should too. I know they wear that alternate top at home. And whenever I think of George Brett, I think of it in that baby blue road.
You tend to think of those iconic players.
Yeah. Now I'm getting tweets from all these people who said, I never knew there was an M and a B until now. Yeah. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Dexter Fowler. 4-0 Cubs.
And if you look at it long enough, it turns into an old lady that looks like a witch with a big bump on her nose.
Ground ball in the center. Russell around third. He'll score. 5-0.
Well, this is playing out just the way Joe Madden had hoped. He's got Arrieta out there probably for one more inning. Building a comfortable lead here, and kind of mix and match with his bullpen, get guys work that he wants to get work, shut other people down that he just would prefer not to use. I mean, he's in position to do that. You don't know exactly how things are going to play out here. The Brewers still have 4 at-bats.
All one to Schwarber. Don't know if Joe will do it, but he does have the option. And maybe having Schwarber play right in Pittsburgh with the spacious left center gap. Schwarber has mostly played left when he's been in the outfield, but he's playing right tonight.
Yeah, he talked about that with the writers before the game. They asked him about Schwarber being in right field tonight. Is that a possibility for the wild card game? And Joe said, absolutely, it's a possibility.
The 2-0. Called strike. 2-1. A lot of interesting roster decisions to make for that game. And then if they win, for a longer division series, that would be against the Cardinals. Segura's throw hits Fowler and goes into foul territory. Fowler around third. Gary Jones is going to stop him. Great diving stab near second base by Segura, but he didn't have anywhere to really throw the ball. He ended up hitting Dexter Fowler.
That was a funky play, and Fowler maybe banged up a little bit. Joe Maddon out to check on him. Boy, just a beautiful reaction play by Segura, and yeah, there's nowhere to go.
So an infield hit for Schwarber, and Segura, it's an error, allowing the runners to advance. Batted ball deflected off the pitcher, and then the thrown ball in close range hit Fowler.
Yeah, and the ball was really well hit by Schwarber. My goodness, he's going to hit it in another tough luck out here. Fortunately, he got himself a base hit. Fowler had to pay the price because of it.
Bryant, another opportunity here to get his 100th RBI. Pops out to Perez at third baseman. So the Cubs get 1 run, and then this crazy play. 5-0.
encased meat, always you have to yield to. Is that Polish going wire to wire?
I think so, yeah.
A little high stepping at the end.
Well, it's late. And Pittsburgh 4-4. Cubs need the Reds to do some damage in that series. They need them to win at least 2 games in order for the Cubs to host on Wednesday. Luis Sardinas, switch hitter. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Austin Jackson now playing right. Andy Baez is at third. Chris Bryant still on the left. Okay. Like that recovery. It was like Bryant's in the left where he started.
Tomorrow it's Brandon Finnegan for the Reds, A.J. Burnett for the Pirates. Finnegan, one of the young pitchers acquired in the Cueto deal. Thinking with Arrieta tonight, I think was 90 pitches or so. He's been very efficient, just 64 here, working in the 6th.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Dress-up day. Cincinnati to Milwaukee.
See, I'm so old. Chris Bryant is the princess from, or is it a princess Frozen? The animated feature Frozen.
It's all over my head.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was thinking, I thought he was supposed to be. Is he Daryl Hannah from Mermaid?
Was it Daryl Hannah in Splash?
Or Splash.
Yeah. Okay. That's a fair ball. Jeanette is out. Montero makes the play.
But she was a mermaid or something, right?
She was a mermaid in Splash.
Yeah. Splash was the movie. Look at Schwarber as Dorothy or whatever. I don't know. I guess he's a waitress. You want some pie? And I was climbing the steps into the airplane last night, and I looked down, and Addison was down on the tarmac still, and he was pulling his dress up like a woman would, like it was a little low. He was kind of tugging it up.
Schaefer foul tips. Well, will Joe let him go another inning? Maybe.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to what he wants to do with his guys in the bullpen.
Yep. Hard as Baez is able to knock it down and then cannot handle the bobble. He grabs it right there. He may have a chance.
Yep, he would have had him. Couldn't get the handle. And a nice play on a ball similar to that, not quite hit as sharply in Cincinnati yesterday. Had a little more heat behind it.
I believe it's an error. Yep, it is. And Baez. So here's Lynn. Ball 1.
Grimm, Rodney, Richard, Cahill, Strop, Rondon all worked in the ball game yesterday. You know, Joe would love to prefer to give Strop and Rondon the day off. I don't want to use those guys on back-to-back days as he gets ready for the postseason. So with that in mind, Arrieta may go back out for the 7th, depending on how quickly he's able to finish things off here.
Popped him up. Fires over into foul ground. And he makes the catch to end the inning. Is that it for Jake Arrieta in the regular season? Will he get another inning? We'll find out. If it's the plus. Kyle Schwarber, 5-0. Conversation. I believe his, let's see, last 3 starts is not a lot of runs, so 22 consecutive scoreless innings for Arrieta. Five nothing as we get into the 7th inning.
Did that look like the great job your night has done conversation?
I don't know. Tyler Cravey will pitch.
Somebody's starting to play catch in the Cubs bullpen.
Tyler Cahill.
Looks like that's going to do it for Jake tonight.
You're right.
Would have won my bet. Cravey at Wrigley as a starter. 13 games, 0-8, 5.75 the ERA. Pena went 4 1/3, allowed 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned. Go forth, an inning and 2/3, 4 hits, 1 run. It was earned.
So Arrieta, assuming he is done, finishes the regular season with a 1.77 earned run average. And a very good chance of notching his 22nd win. Going outside on Rizzo. 3 RBIs tonight to get him within 1 of 100, along with Chris Bryant. Three and 1. Walked him. So I have second half 107 in the third innings. And 9 earned runs allowed by Arrieta.
'20 consecutive quality starts.
I've got him in an 0.75-ish earned run average in the second half. Wow. So that's a record,
yeah.
Right?
Well, he had 0.80 coming into the start.
Castro with a gapper. Rizzo hustling to third. He's going to score. It's a double for Castro, and it's 6-0.
Second double of the night for Castro. Boy, there's been a lot of extra base hits. Russell with a couple of doubles. Rizzo with a home run. Estella's got a double. A stinger. Up the gap in left center. Don't draw that charge. Yeah, according to the cup notes here, he came in with an 0.80 second half ERA. That was the lowest ERA after the break in Major League history. Chris Medlin, back in 2012, had an 0.94.
First Cup qualifying pitcher to finish with a sub-2 since 1920. Over Cleveland Alexander at a 191. Arrieta again at 177. .33 starts, 229 innings. Chance to go 13-1 on the road this season. (14-2) at night. 18-5 against the National League. This is all assuming for the moment that he's going to win this game. He went 6-0 in August, 4-0 in September. It would be 1-0 in October. As you mentioned, his last loss was Cole Hamels' no-hitter at Wrigley Field on July 25th. Finishing the year with an 11-game winning streak.
And just unbelievable. And doing it, he's making $3.5 million. Not some change in the real world, but talking about the guys he's competing with for that Cy Young Award, Greinke and Kershaw, two of the highest paid players in the game. Talk about bang for the buck.
Yep. Diving stop. Jeanette gets up quickly and throws out Montero on the play. Castro advances to third, 1 out. As promised earlier, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Thanks for tweeting your strongest fan photos to hashtag Northside Data Strong Fan this season. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Infield in. Cubs already leading 6-0.
Also with a double to left, off the wall, high off the wall, just missed hitting a home run, then banged one off the wall in center last time. 2 doubles and an intentional walk.
Ball may come back fair. Nope, we're back.
Smell that burning wood. See, hitters like that. Well, you're probably not old enough. When you're in school, they used to pass out the papers that they run off the mimeograph machine or whatever it was with the ink, and you'd hold it up and smell it. That's what hitters do when they foul a ball out.
Yeah. We've gone to the 9th in Pittsburgh. 4-4. Reds batting against Mark Melancon. It's really fun to scoreboard watch when you know you're already in, right?
Yeah, not as much angst.
Coughlin on deck for Arrieta. Houston with a 5-0 lead in the bottom of the 2nd in Arizona. Popped him up. And it's Ashley to make the catch.
Angels Rangers 1-1, top of the 8th in Arlington.
Sure what that was about. It was Chris Coughlin.
Congratulations to Chris Sale, set the White Sox single season strikeout record. .274 now for Sale. He had 7 tonight.
Straight quality starts for Arrieta to end the season.
Yeah, and threshold for quality start 6 innings or more, 3 earned runs or fewer, and he's had a whole bunch of 8 innings, 1 run, 8 shutout. I mean, you look at his game log, go game by game, earned run 0-0-2, 0-0-0-2, 1-1, 0-0. It's incredible.
Well, how about the run for the starters as well here this week?
Yeah.
1 earned run, right? Last 6 starters combined. Strike 3 to get Coughlin. And the inning is over. Stretch time in Milwaukee. All Cubs 6-0. Beginning at 10, preview tomorrow's hottest college matchups on Sportsnet Central. Then at 10:30, we're inside the NFL on Playbook with Jim Miller, followed by high school lights at 11. Don't miss Friday night kickoff starting tonight at 10 on CSN Chicago.
Hey, I like that one. Cool looking t-shirt.
Trevor Cahill.
Cahill with the Cubs, a 1.72 ERA. 9 outings, 20 strikeouts, just 4 walks. The numbers you see there is time with the Cubs and the Braves. So he's been a lot better since putting on a Cub uniform. And he's pretty comfortable calling his name out of that bullpen right now.
Austin Jackson's now playing center. Chris Denorfia is in right. Strike on Chris Davis.
Reds failed to score in the top of the ninth, so Pirates batting in the bottom now, still tied at 4. Roldis Chapman in for the Reds.
Clubbed it deep right center, and it is gone. A home run for Davis. His 21st of the second half, 27 overall, and they are on the board.
Not much doubt about that one, man. He crushed that ball the other way out. In the deep right center field. Great swing of the bat.
Ball 1 on Santana. In the count, 3-1. Walked it. Great start here in the 7th. Cahill.
Yeah, that's always the challenge for a pitcher. When a guy makes a loud noise against you, just crushes the ball, hits it a long way, there's a tendency to get a little defensive and start to work out of the zone. You have to be able to kind of just separate them. Okay, that was over there. That happened. Now I just got to go back and attack the next guy. Especially with a sizable lead.
Segura struck out in the 2nd, grounded to 2nd in the 5th.
Oh, nice play. Keeping that double play in order. Segura hits the ball on the ground a lot. Cahill sinker, a chance to get that ground ball. Chris Bosio is going to come out and have a chat with the right-hander. Clearly out of sync here.
Calling all Cubbies, the Chicago Cubs offer special programs designed just for your future Cub. From Kids Sundays at the ballpark to Clark's Crew, we have various ways to build lifelong Cubs memories with your kids. Visit Cubs.com/kids to learn about all these exciting offerings. Really hard to believe after all the stuff we just rattled off about Jake Arrieta that there's a pretty hot debate about who should win the Cy Young. Right? Most years that's just he's a shoe-in.
Right,
It's automatic. I think he will win it. I think he deserves it. We have two Dodgers who are very much in the mix.
Yeah, what's Greinke's and Kershaw? What's their schedule? You got one more left?
I'll tell you.
Ascertain.
Travis Wood is up in the bullpen.
Well, if they stay on turn,
he's got one more.
Greinke tomorrow, Kershaw Sunday.
Just broke his bat after striking out. So Greinke at 168, Arrieta at 177.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago, probably less than a month, where there was still, as good as Jake was, there was still almost a half a run separation in the earned run average between those two guys, and you figured that's going to be awfully tough for Jake. Now that he's closed the gap in that earned run average, it's a more compelling case, obviously, for Jake.
Cahill to first, out. Rizzo will throw it in the left. And Santana will head to third on an error. Nice play by Cahill.
Good pick by Rizzo. Tries to sneak in behind Santana there at second base.
Brewers will not challenge that play at first. Rizzo just able to keep his foot on the base. Baez gets Ashley to end the inning. Leadoff homer by Davis makes it 6-1 Cubs after 7. Can be a part of your next event, from charity events to wedding receptions and birthday parties. Clark wants to be a part of it. Visit Cubs.com/kids for more information on how to book Clark for your special events.
Those guys are no good. Extras in Pittsburgh.
So you have Cubs teddy bear growing out of your chest.
It's like the alien, only a lot kinder.
Austin Jackson.
Big series in Cincinnati.
8 RBIs over the last 2 days for Jackson. Lind makes the catch. There's Denorfia for the first time.
Twins are in the mix in the American League for the wild card. They're trailing the Royals 3-1, bottom of the 8th in Minnesota.
Well, the Astros winning tonight. Things a little clearer for them, at least. His pick on the short hop. That'll go 3-1. Lind. A nice play. So if the Twins lose and the Astros win, Twins would be 2 games behind them. Angels and Rangers are tied late. So yeah, so if Houston wins tonight and those other 2 teams lose, that race could be over as early as tomorrow.
I believe Dallas Keuchel, well, yeah, he's pitching for Houston tonight. Not likely he's going to give up a 5-run lead the way he's gone.
So he would probably not start the wild card, right? It's Tuesday. He would have to come back on short rest.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, he's kind of a sinker guy. You might be able to bring him back on short rest and feel pretty good about it. And if they get a big enough lead tonight, maybe A.J. Hinch gets him out early with that in mind.
1-2. A 2-strike swing, was it?
No, it's a dangerous pitch. It's called letting it eat.
Dirt outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hendricks and Herron to finish up the regular season. Tyler Wagner tomorrow night for Milwaukee. Jorge Lopez on Sunday. Swing and a miss, strike 3. As Cravey goes 1-2-3, but the Cubs lead this one by 5. Yankee cap. Michael Reed pinch hitting. So just 2 out of 4. We want you to stick with us here the rest of the night. We'll do our best to keep you posted on that game in Pittsburgh. But that game actually has more urgency as it relates to the Cubs. The Cubs are up 5 runs right now as they try to close out the Brewers. It really, really would help if the Reds won that game tonight. If they don't,
put pressure on the Pirates, that'd be interesting.
If they don't, the Pirates' magic number would be 1 for home field. That would be 1 more Pirate win or a Cub loss this weekend, and Pirates get home field. But yeah, if they win tonight, it stays at 2, and the Cubs have a fighting chance. That'll be it for Cahill after he strikes out Reed. So the Cubs just swept Cincinnati. They're pulling hard for their division opponents to beat up on the Pirates in extras. 4-4 in the bottom of the 10th there. 6-1 bottom of the 8th here. Travis Wood coming on when we return. His role was as a starter to begin the year and has found a new home in the bullpen.
ERA at 3.05 out of the pen. Well, since making the move to the pen, he did make 1 start. That's factored into that 3.05 ERA. I referenced a spot start in Philly. Went 3 innings. But on a nice roll lately.
Angels now lead in Texas 2-1 in the 9th. Jonathan Lucroy will pinch hit. That's for Jeanette. Lucroy coming back from a concussion. Has not caught since returning. He's made 1 start at first. He's 14 games after he was concussed in Miami on September 8th. He's 38 games with a fractured left big or great toe earlier this year. You were talking about him last year, right around this time, as
MVP candidate.
Interesting MVP candidate. Yeah.
All those doubles. Very high marks for his defensive work. One of the better receivers in the game.
Andrew McCutchen with a leadoff single for the Pirates. So Chapman went a scoreless inning. Watson and Melanson have already worked for the Pirates. Swing and a miss. It's 2-2 with Sam LeCure on the mound now. 1 on, nobody out. Bottom of the 10th. Little red asterisk. That is Andrew McCutchen.
He doesn't have a very big lead. Swing there by LaCroix.
Hey, we want to wish Abby Suarez, the Cubs manager, fundraising and community events, the best of luck. She is moving on to a new opportunity, the executive director of the Anthony Rizzo Family Foundation. So
I'm going for
your hard work, Abby, and we will certainly see you a lot in your new role. And you're working with a great guy. Three and two.
Just 1 run allowed by Wood over his last 10 appearances, covering 14 innings. Five-run lead. To challenge him.
$30,044, the paid crowd tonight. A lot of Cub fans in the ballpark, as you can imagine.
Well, there's no such thing as a sure thing in baseball, but coming into this one, it felt like a sure thing with Arrieta going up against the rookie Pena and his depleted Brewer lineup.
If you had gone with the 6 innings, no runs, you would have won that.
Would have won that bet. But Pena started the game striking out the side in the first inning, punched out 5 of the first 6.
The throw, Rizzo handles it flawlessly. 2 outs.
Yeah, he doesn't let too many of those get away. He shoots his guy some errors over there. In many ways, well, he's got good hands. We pick the ball out of the dirt. He's very flexible for big guys like a Gumby. Got a long reach.
Nolan Arenado has tied Chipper Jones' single-season record for extra base hits by a third baseman, 87. One ball, one strike on Schaefer. Batting race. Bryce Harper went in at 331, although they were rained out. D. Gordon of Miami, 329. It's going to be one of those two guys who win the National League batting title. 1-2. Gordon, the only real candidate to get to 200 hits. He's got 198. Arenado and Harper each have 41 home runs. Carlos Gonzalez has 40. Arenado will win the RBI crown, running away. Leads the pack by 20. American League, Miguel Cabrera, 12 points up on the field. The batting race. Home runs, Chris Davis 45, Nelson Cruz 44 into the play tonight.
Oh, that swing.
Who's got?
I believe Russell.
Russell takes it away from Chris Bryant. And that'll end the inning. We go to the ninth. 6-1 Cubs. Baseball, reserve your place in line for history in the making by joining the season ticket holder waiting list. It's easy and free to register. For details, visit Cubs.com/waiting list. That is the new pitcher,
Mr. Hauser.
Adrian Hauser. And a new second baseman, too. I think it is Yadiel Rivera. It is.
Hauser's second appearance. You saw his line there from an outing against the Cardinals. He's over from the Astros in the Carlos Gomez deal. Pitched at Double-A, both with the Astros and the Brewers this year. He was actually at A-ball, too. He's a youngin', 22 years old. Second round pick, 2011.
Bryant fouls to the screen.
Sturdy right-hander, 6'4", 230.
Complete game shutout in the Southern League playoffs for Hauser. 10 strikeouts against Pensacola. That was with Biloxi. Two and one on Bryant. They've gone to the 11th. Reds and Pirates still tied. Antonio Bastardo is on. And Adam Duvall is on to lead off the inning. Single to left. Way outside, full count, 3-2. Oh, I like it. Anthony on Twitter, back to back for 100 RBIs. That'd be fun. Well, Bryant walks. Maybe it's Rizzo's turn. Each guy with 99 driven in.
got this young guy out there, second major league appearance, obviously dealing with some butterflies. Fastball command a little shaky there. So maybe we'll be able to exploit that if he catches one in the heart of the strike zone.
By the way, we did not get word on Dexter Fowler. Assume he's okay. He stayed in for a bit after getting hit by that throw, and then eventually came out. Shoulder, right?
Yeah, it looked like up on the back
of the shoulder. So no news is good news at this point. And tight on Rizzo. 2 balls, no strikes. The ball's now at second after a Tucker Barnhart bunt. Angels a winner. Big one. 2-1 over Texas. So the Rangers are in the playoffs, but they still have not clinched the division. Who won the final score? Two and two.
If the Cubs hang on and win this ball game, it will be their 95th win. In the last 75 years, the Cubs have finished with a better winning percentage on 3 occasions. 1945, they're 98 and 56, 2008, 97 and 64, 1984, 96, 65.
Win tonight, and it would be a 22-win improvement over last year. Chance to improve by as many as 24 wins. They won 73 games last season.
And that's what people are referring to. You know, when Theo and Jed talk about being ahead of schedule, you just don't anticipate this big of a leap forward one year to the next.
To Perez, to the pitcher. How about a 1-3-5-1 double play? Neatly turned by the Brewers. Here comes Castro.
We got to change the way we keep scoring this game now with all the shifting. Look at my scorecard later on. I'm going to think he threw that ball to third base.
Yeah, I think I told you, Pat Hughes, he generally on shifts will score it wherever the ball is hit. So even if the shortstop is on the second base side or the first base side of second, he'll just put 4-3. I'll do a 6-3 parentheses 4 to denote location. Everybody's different. Skip to the shortstop, Segura. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth as the Cubs are closing in on what would be their 6th consecutive win. We'll bring you our final Cubs telecast of 2015. Coverage starts at 5:30 with Cubs pregame line presented by Fields Auto on Comcast Sportsnet. Finish up the regular season on WGN on Sunday. Okay.
It must be a rookie. The new rookie hazing thing. You'd have to dress up like Spider-Man and go out in the crowd and dance.
Travis Wood will try to finish this game. Got too many faced in the 8th. Lind, Davis, and Segura due up here in the 9th. That's a strike.
Brewers with just 3 hits in the ball game.
The pitching has just been outstanding here as of late, particularly from the starters. Last 6 times out, 1 run, 1 earned run collectively allowed. Wood can't get it. Castro will charge. And Costa Rizzo in time. 1 out.
Yeah, and I like, Joe's going to make a change here, jogging out, trying to expedite things. I like what Joe said to us a few days back when we were home. We were talking about Arrieta and how he was going to use him. And he said, I don't want to stand in the way of greatness. The guy's got a chance to pitch a shutout or this quality start run he's got going. He's going to try to honor that as best he can. Obviously, you have to balance it because you've got some very important games upcoming. But, another masterful performance by Arrieta. And now Carl Edwards going to come on and try to finish things off.
It's Todd Frazier against Antonio Bastardo. With 2 outs. We'll keep you up to date. Carl Edwards Jr. with 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th, and his team leading by 5.
Just 4 games of big league experience under his belt. Joe Madden has talked recently about trying to get into some more high leverage late game situations. You wouldn't really call this high leverage, but he's trying to finish off the ball game here in the 9th.
Chris Davis homered off Trevor Cahill in the 7th for the Milwaukee lone tally. Takes ball 1.
We're just looking to see what Edwards is able to do, what the heart rate is like in these situations as he contemplates putting him on a postseason roster. Oh, by the way, the Cubs established a new National League strikeout record tonight. Arrieta's 2 strikeouts back in the first inning pushed him to 1406.
Swing and a miss. 2-2.
Long arm action over the top and then shoots a dart.
Moving deep to left. Bryant. And on the edge of the warning track makes the catch. Todd Frazier. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Top of the 11th. Against Antonio Bastardo. Looked pretty good off the bat. Keep on going. Oh, McCutchen. Oh, so close. They'll go to the bottom of the 11th. Still tied. 2 outs, 9th inning. Santana fouls.
.6:10 game time here tomorrow night. Kyle Hendricks against rookie Tyler Wagner.
Line right field. Northfield trapped it. It's a base hit. Brewers are alive for at least one more batter. Good effort by Northfield.
Tries to make the shoestring catch on a sinking line drive and clearly got a lot of hop.
That fan standing. Segura swings and misses. Santana will take second, will not be given a stolen base.
Sure they're on the same page with the man on second base. That's for the indicator for their signs. Standing and chanting are the Cub fans here. There's a bunch of them in the ballpark.
Foul tip, strike 2. 0-2 on Segura. Edwards has a sign from his catcher. Not even a look at the runner. I like that. Runner does not matter at all.
Sometimes it's a good move even when it does matter, because a lot of times if the base runner's thinking of stealing third base, he'll key off a pitcher when he checks and then goes home. And if you never check, it stands out that he's just waiting.
Cubs win. Cubs win. Jake Arrieta gets win number 22 as he finishes up one of the best regular seasons we've seen from a starting pitcher. The Cubs have 95 wins. They're 30 over 500.
Boy, this played out exactly the way Joe Madden wanted it to. He got Arrieta out there for 6 innings. He keeps his quality start streak alive. His lineup was able to build a comfortable lead for him, so he didn't have to use Rondon or Strop or Grimm to piece it together out of the bullpen. Got Edwards in there at the end. Moved guys all over the field, as he has been doing in recent games, to give guys a look at different positions. And a very good night for the boys in blue.
Our Vinny's Beverage Depot toast of the game. Every 5th day or so, Jake Arrieta gets it.
Yeah, there were others. Rizzo.